All right, so I am super excited to be here today with a wonderful couple that I have the honor and pleasure to work one on one with as their coach. So it's a joy to have you here with us today. You guys are doing a great job. You've come a long way. So do me a favor, just introduce yourself to our audience and let them know who you are, where you're from, etc.
Absolutely. So I'll go first. I'm Kimberly Franco, and this is my husband, Steven, and I've been licensed since 2020, and we are in Houston, Texas.
Okay, good.
And I've been in the business for on the agent end for 7 years and in real estate for over 20 years.
Okay, good. All right, awesome. So 20 already. I guess that's awesome.
That's a lot.
So Kim, you said how long have you been in the business?
I've been licensed since 2020, but I've been in the real estate industry business for 15 plus years.
Okay, right. That's right. What did you do before you got licensed?
Property management.
Oh, okay, good. So that's an interesting ride.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
and then also, okay, good. So for Steve, you've been a broker, you said, for 20 years?
No, I've been different aspects. I ran a REO real estate brokerage as an
Yes.
assistant for 8 years. Then we did asset management for another 8 or 10 years, and then, or probably 8 years. And then we did, I came out and was an agent. So I've been an agent for about 7 years.
Okay, good. You guys have done a lot of really amazing things. And how long have you been in the coaching with us, one on one?
Since 2022 is when we signed up. We signed up at the summit.
We signed up in 2023 at the summit.
Oh, 2023.
Got it.
Sorry.
2023. So almost 2 full years.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't remember
Yeah.
everything. I totally get that. And what were some of the biggest challenges you were faced before beginning and getting into the Glover U coaching? Like, what were some of the challenges you were facing?
I think the better question is what challenges did we not have, maybe? We had a lot of challenges. So, our systems, we had no systems, we had zero accountability. We were just kind of winging it, just whatever the day brought us, whatever. I mean, we were terrible at agent attraction, retention. We didn't know what a value proposition was, a vision, mission. Like, we literally had nothing. So, before Glover U, we were a hot mess.
Yeah, well, you did pretty good as a hot mess, but I know there's been some stepping stones moving in the right direction for sure. Steve, do you want to add anything to what Kimberly said on that?
So as she mentioned, being a hot mess, we were able to produce a lot, but there was no organization, there was no structure. I mean, I don't even know what a repeat client was or a sphere.
Right.
Yeah,
we've had that conversation a few times, right?
So,
Without a doubt. And so just so everyone can kind of understand, tell us your background with what you specialize in as a real estate professional and a team. And also, how many transactions were you doing before you got into coaching? So tell us a little bit about your background with what you specialize in.
So we specialize in investment properties, institutional clients, hedge funds, REO properties. So Kim and I've been in that business literally since I started in real estate, and Kim's been in that business for, I think like she said, it was probably now 10 years, 12 years she's been doing that. So we're very versed in that aspect of the business and understanding that. But for us, it was coming out of that and understand, like, I've always known that, like, you have to have multi-tiers of business and multi-pillars of business. So that was our biggest thing, is getting a new pillar under our belt. So we're not just, one-dimensional business. So.
Yep. We spend quite a bit of time on that, no doubt. So the number of transactions, what were you doing before coaching? How many, if you remember?
When we finished 2022, as an entire team, we did 126 units at 26.7 million.
Right.
That's with nothing, no structure. That's just kind of winging it.
Right.
So to break that down a little bit better, if you guys want to understand it a little bit better.
Of course.
So from the retail end on 2022, as a team, we did a whopping 4 transactions at 1.21 million. So very low. You're talking, 3% of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we did personally as a retail in 2022 was a staggering 1 unit at 311,000, which was a friend's property that we listed, and that was our personal production.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So just so everyone can hear, so how is the one-on-one coaching? And Glover, you helped grow the business and actually diversify a little bit your portfolio and what you're going after.
So let's kind of break. I mean, it's diversified significantly, but let's just break down 2023, right? So just
Perfect.
1 year, we went to 140 units at 35.9 million. So only a difference of 14 units, but a significant difference in almost 11 million. The retail business did as a team 25 units at 10.1 million from our 1 million. And our personal production went from 1 unit to 8 units at 4.1 million. That was year
Yes.
one of coaching.
Right, year one. Yeah,
So,
so you want to tell year two, don't you? I can feel it, I can see it, So what happened year two?
so year
End of 20.
two, we're at year to date, let's just say. We're at
Yep.
134 units year to date, 37 million, just over 37 million. Retail transactions as a team, we're at 44 units at 15.6 million. And personal production, we're at 28 units at 11.26 million.
So the personal production, right? So let's define that. So when you're talking about personal production, how do you define that so everyone knows what
So
you're
when we're
saying?
talking personal production, I'm talking traditional retail transaction personal production only. That isn't investment, that isn't hedge funds, that isn't REO, that isn't new construction or investment. That's strictly retail business.
Right. So when we first started this journey together, we were at just a few transactions from
One,
that.
one,
And what? Just one.
one.
Just one. You did say that to me,
Yeah,
but
the
whatever.
team, the
Yeah.
team did 4. We did 1.
Right. We were at one. So now we've in 2 years have significantly grown that, which has been a joy for me to watch. So tell everybody what is it that you started doing or focusing on, with some of the systems that you put in place in order to grow that.
Yeah, so it was definitely, we did accountability, just showing up to the office every day and really focusing on our skills and our mindset and things like that. So writing scripts, practicing scripts, doing all of the skills based things, because you can only go so far without skills. So you need to work on your skills. So we really tried to hone in on our skills so that way we could feel confident and comfortable reaching back out to our past clients or new people, and just trying to really up that traditional retail sales on our end. So I think that's been huge, just really focusing in on the skills.
Yep, that's a big piece of it. You guys have changed your whole dynamic with that. Not only for you two as the leaders, but also with the team. The consistency with that has been fantastic. And then Steve, describe a little bit, we talked about the systems and implementing the routine of connecting with your past clients and center of influence, the 4x4 by 2x12, right? And that consistency. So just share with everyone what you've done in order to grow so much in that area. And we know that 2025 is going to even be better.
So I feel like the biggest struggle I'd say every agent, even myself, is like knowing just to when to get out of your own way, and just do what's proven instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. And I feel like that's something we want to have our own brand. We want to have our own uniqueness, and we never wanted to like steal people's stuff or take people what they had, instead of realizing like there's nothing wrong with doing what's already working and maybe just implementing it a little bit better or being better at that, and then growing it from there instead of starting from scratch. So I think that's really where, her and I have really grown and really understood that, stop reinventing the wheel and just get out there and do it. Like, and stop, like just do it. So that was kind of the biggest aha for us. And that's why we went for the coaching and was like, okay, let's just do this. We need something different. We don't know this end of the business. And even if we did, like, we need to know how to do it better, right? Because people are always doing things at a better, higher level or better or different, and you can learn from everyone. So that was kind of our biggest, hurdle we had to get over and understand.
Yeah. So we always say as coaches, we have the easy part. You guys have the hard part, both of you. So I know there's been times where it's felt like a struggle or you don't feel like doing it. And I guess the question would be is, what goes through your mind on your commitment to just, adapt the systems and allow us to work with you on that? So when you don't feel like doing it, what do you tell yourself to get through it?
I tell myself, I don't want to be what we used to be. I don't want to be that hot mess, right? So what can I do today to just take one step forward, just get 1% better? And I know that sounds cliche, but what's one thing that I could implement today that would either make my job easier, make my life easier, just something to get better. So, because if you're not constantly growing or improving, then you're dying, right? So our biggest thing is we have to be growing and getting better every single day.
That's great. I love that. Makes sense. Steve, any thoughts on that?
I think for me, it was also the fact that, like, the accountability portion, right? So it's like knowing that, like, the next call, something had to be done, which, things get in the way, and that's just life. But it's also knowing, okay, I committed to do this. Maybe I know I can't completely finish it, but instead of not doing anything, let's get a portion of that. Let's try to get halfway through it. So then I'm that much closer to what the goal is. And I think the accountability really for me is the biggest portion. And I think it's for both of us. It's like, just making sure you get it done. And my procrastination aspect of myself, it's like, now when I get off a call with you, it's like, let me just start this now instead of waiting. So.
No, that's also very good. So the accountability portion, obviously, and then taking it down to bite-sized pieces, of course. So what is one thing someone watching today could implement immediately, like both of you did, that would impact their trajectory and moving forward with their business?
I think it's kind of what Steven said, just start, just do something today and just implement it, or just do something to try to get 1% better. Pick up the phone, try to make those contacts, try to talk to those people. If you see somebody at the store, randomly, just strike up a conversation. You never know who you can meet and how that conversation could go or change your business. So that would be it for me.
No, I love that.
I think there's two things. I think it's number one, getting out of your own way, right? And just do what people are telling you to do, because it obviously works.
Yeah.
And then number two is, I think this is just kind of in everyone's nature. Oh, so I know, Kathy, you always ask us the question, like, when are you going to start that? Or when are you going to do it? Right? What day are we going to do that on? Okay. Well, most people are going to say, oh, I'm going to start that next Monday or 2 weeks from now. Well, why are you starting it 2 weeks from now? Like, just pick up the phone tomorrow. Like, just call your sphere tomorrow. Start texting them today. Like, what does it hurt you to start growing your business? Because if in a week or two, that would never have happened. You're going to push it out yet another week, right? So just start doing it now is the key.
That's excellent advice.
Even if it's not 100%, just start.
Right. It doesn't have to be all. And one thing that Kimberly said, is like the bite-sized pieces, baby steps. You start with one small thing, and it's not always been easy, right? There's been times that we've been on and Steve's like, wait, what? I don't, maybe I don't feel like doing that. Or, Steve's a little bit more out, like that than Kimberly is. But, I love the honesty of it, because it isn't always easy. And some days you don't feel like it. Right. So you're on pace in 2024 to finish up. You said that, but it went by really quick. So you'll end up with how many transactions?
Well, I gave you year to date. So what we should end up with, based on what we have, is we should be at 143 units, 39 million.
Okay, good. That's excellent. And then you said how many of those units are from your past client sphere of influence?
So from retail business, the team has 47 at 16 million.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I have 30 units at personal production was 30 units at 11.6 million.
Okay, that's fantastic. So that's definitely significant growth in that area. And like I said earlier, we've only just begun, which is really cool. So what parts, because of this, what parts of your business and life has been impacted the most, and how?
I think for me, it's honestly our relationship, because, when you're a hot mess, it kind of spills over into your personal relationship, whether you want it to or not, because there's stress, there's all these added things. And so when you're able to really designate and figure out, okay, Steven is doing this, I'm doing this, designated roles, and you stay in your lane. That's something, Kathy, you've really worked with us on, is designating the roles and just letting the other person do what they're supposed to be doing and not overstepping your boundaries, because then it just turns into a mess when you don't do that. So I really think it's helped us in a relationship, both work and personally.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that. Stephen?
I think that's honestly, that's the big one, I think. But it's also, I think, you know, doing the items and doing what you're supposed to do, and then other people see that and they want to emulate what you're doing. So bringing
Mm,
our energy into the office has really helped each other and helped the team, right? So it's also the energy of production, right? And everyone on the same goal, and her and I understanding what we're doing together. Instead of me going this way and her going this way, now we're like going this way together, right? And so like it's just more seamless, I feel like, for us.
yeah, that's good. I would agree with that, just by observing. And also you're doing a great job with leading by example, and how important that is to Jeff, and makes complete sense to the growth and the consistency of your growth. And I love that as well. So just kind of wrapping this up, sometimes people would say, so why, I mean, you're doing well. I mean, you're making money, and why do you continue in one-on-one coaching?
Do you want to answer that first?
So I feel like why we're continuing is the proofs in the numbers, right? So to give you more numbers on numbers, our true ROI on units is 1,100% on our retail business from when
Yeah.
we started to now. 1,100% as a team. And on my personal production, it's 2,800%. 2,800% difference, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't pay for that. So then when you're talking ROI impact on coaching has to our income. The return of what we've spent on one-on-one elite coaching, the classes,
Yes.
conferences, everything else. This number is going to be way more than what you think. 645.63% return on our investment.
Wow. And
So
that's the classes, the
that's
systems
everything.
of,
That's all of
yeah.
our expenses of Glover U.
Wow.
The return on
So wait,
investment was 645.63%. So my question to you is, why wouldn't
yeah.
you do it? Why wouldn't you invest the money in that type of return? You can't get that return anywhere, and that's in 2 years.
Yeah, that's great news. And we've never looked at it what the percentage was. So this is very exciting for me as well. So thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah.
love that.
I thought it was interesting when I was breaking down the numbers. I was like, what's the percentage on that? And I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's
Very smart.
crazy.
That sounds like your brain. I love that. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's a big deal. And Kimberly, anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me with the one-on-one coaching, and why like I personally continue to do it, is because it just helps me. It helps push me out of my comfort zone. It helps me be a better leader. It helps me be a better person. And it's kind of a love-hate relationship. I love the weekly calls, but I hate them at the same time, because I'm like, what is it going to be this week? But I know without that, I wouldn't be where I am. And I know, like you keep saying, it's just the beginning. And so I honestly, we wouldn't be where we are today without Glover U coaching. And we're not going anywhere, because we're just starting. So.
And we're
Well,
family.
yeah,
Honestly, it's
yep.
like a family. And I truly feel that way. Like, I feel like you truly care about us genuinely on top of the outcome of what we get, right? So it's just, for us, that's another added level. So
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and you're right about that. And I know that you're the same way, right? So we have a great relationship. But again, I have the easy part, you have the hard part. So
I don't know about that.
congratulations.
Sometimes I'm super hard to deal with.
Well, that's okay. We're kind of used to that anyway. So, but it's a joy and honor for me to work with both of you. Thank you for spending some time with us today on this, and I can't wait as we go into 2025 to just continue to go kick some butt. So great job, you two. Thanks so much for being with us and your input. And I'll see you before you know it.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Kathy.
Bye, Kathy.
Thanks for being with me today, guys. Nice
Appreciate
work.
it.
See you soon. All right. Bye.
You don't have to do anything.